Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Tyler McNabb, and this is my dad's Honda 450R. So in today's video, we're going to be focusing on this thing. As you know, the last video, besides the riding video that I made with this, it was regarding shimming the valves. And in that video, I talked to you and I said that I was basically out of room, so they were all the way up. And so, yeah, I was out of room. I couldn't fit a smaller shim in there. And so basically what that means is the intake valves are worn out, so we need new shims. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. I went ahead and ordered some fresh intake valves. So we've got intake valves for both sides of the cylinder. Got both intake valves, replacing both of them. And so that's going to be the main focus of this video. I'm actually going to be doing two videos at once. So I think you're going to see the intake valve video first, and then I'm going to have a second video pop up shortly after this that I'm also working on something else on here. But I'm going to keep that a secret until that comes out, because that's kind of a cool video in my opinion. So anyway, so the main focus of this video is I'm going to tear this thing down. We're going to have to take the head off to get the valves out, and then plus I'm going to take the head into Rissler's Extreme ATV, my local shop, and he's going to cut the valve seats for me just to make sure that they're good and ready to go when I put the new intake valves in. So not much more to talk about, and so I'm probably just going to cut to it, time-lapse me tearing this thing down, and then maybe when I'm putting it back together I'll talk a little bit more. But for now, we're just going to time-lapse getting this thing taken apart. So let's get into the video. Okay guys, well unfortunately this video took an unfortunate detour, not for you guys, I didn't record it, but for me it did. So as you can see here, I had to end up taking off the stator cover because me being, I don't know, I guess I got in a hurry and I didn't stuff a rag down where the timing chain comes through. And I wasn't even trying to actually take the cam off, I was just trying to loosen it. And when I did, it popped up a lot easier than I thought it would. And when that happened, a valve shim fell right down into the cam chain slot and down into here. So I did find it. It was sitting in the bottom of the engine, pretty much where I thought it would be. But yeah, so that was kind of unfortunate. Had to end up taking all this stuff off, and I'll probably end up needing to get a new gasket for this. And I also had to drain the engine oil, which I had just changed, so you know, not the best situation, but unfortunately stuff happens. So yeah, I got that valve shim out, so for now I'm just going to leave this how it is, and then I'm going to continue with tearing the head down. So really all that's left at this point to get the head off is I need to unhook this coolant hose, need to take the header off, and then after that I think I can loosen the bolts or loosen the nuts for the head studs, and then hopefully, I do also, this has an engine mount as well on the head, so I'll have to take that off. Then hopefully here shortly we can pop the head off, I can get the valves out and get this thing up to Rissler's so he can get the valve seats cut. So I'm probably just going to time lapse the rest of this until I get it off, and I'll see you then. Okay guys, well, as you can see, got the old cylinder head off. Take a peek down in here. Cylinder is looking pretty good, and not sure if you guys will be able to see those part numbers, but this is actually an OEM piston, so that's kind of what we were informed with this quad, that as far as we knew it was relatively stock. The guy that owned it before us, the guy he bought it from, pretty much it was a stock 450, and then the other guy didn't do any motor work to it or anything. So that's what it looks like. Seems to be a stock motor, which is good for now, like a good stock reliable motor. So yeah, got the head off, and yeah, we're looking pretty good. So look over here, got it, and overall it's looking pretty good. Got the two intake valves right here that we're going to replace, and so we got some fresh OEM intake valves. Decided to go with OEM because you can go with like a Kibble White valve, but what I didn't realize is the Kibble Whites are a steel valve, whereas the OEMs are titanium. So if you get the Kibble Whites, which are a little bit cheaper, or any of the other brands that are a steel valve, then you have to get different valve springs. So went ahead, bit the bullet, paid a little bit more for the OEM titanium ones, so those will go right back in, won't have to replace that, and then we should be good to go. So all that's really left to do here is I'm going to get the valve springs out real quick with my handy dandy valve compressor, and then hopefully I'll run this up to Rissler's after I get off work tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get the valve seats cut, and then I can get this thing slapped back together. So I will catch up with you guys once I've got the head back and the valve seats are cut. So I'll see you then. Okay guys, well, we are back and we have a nice clean head. So got the head back from Rissler's, and as you can tell from the previous shot, he got it all nice and cleaned up. He went through, cut the valve seats, they all looked really good. There was no pitting or anything in them. He said the valve guides, he went through them, they all look good. So yeah, he said overall this quad is in pretty good shape. So we've got our new intake valves sitting back here, and then the exhaust valves, and so we are going to get ready to slap those back in, and then we can just jump into putting this thing all the way back together. So I've got the cylinder down here. I'd shoved some paper towel in there because I was scraping the cylinder, making sure I got the majority of the gasket material off. There was a little bit left. I got the majority of it. There's still some fine little bits here and there, but I got the majority of it, so we should be good there. So that should be ready to go, and once we get the valves back in, put the new valve seals in. I got those sitting over here, so we'll put new valve seals in it, put the new intake valves, get the valve springs on and everything, and we'll be ready to put it back together. So let's just jump right into it. Okay guys, just checking in. I am getting this thing put back together. So we've got the whole cam assembly in now. I still need to put the sprocket on, but we got that in. Valves are adjusted. They're good to go. I just spent the last hour scraping gasket material off this guy, so that was nice and fun. It definitely would have been easier if I would have been able to take the flywheel off, but I don't have a 450 flywheel puller yet, so that's a tool that I need to add to the arsenal. But yeah, that would have made it a lot easier just because working in this space, yeah. So anyway, so got it all cleaned off and everything. We have a brand new gasket to get put on there, so that's ready to go. Did have a little bit of an unfortunate mishap when putting the cam assembly back in. So when I was checking the valves, I would torque these bolts down. Apparently I looked at the wrong torque spec, kind of being a dipstick, and I was torquing these to 14 foot-pounds, which they're not a very big bolt. Well, this happened. So snapped a bolt off. Luckily it came out really easy because those threads are nice and clean, so I was able to just thread this out with a set of pliers. No big deal. But luckily I called up to Rissler's Extreme ATV, and he had a spare set that he got for me. So we got a full spare set and put those in, and now we're all good to go. So I think actually there's either not a torque spec on these, or it's only like 10 foot-pounds. So I was only going like 4 foot-pounds over, but that was enough apparently to break it. So we're good now. Nothing wrong. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm going to get the cam chain sprocket on, and then from there we'll be able to put the valve cover back on this motor. I'll get my stator cover back on, and then from there we can pretty much wrap this video up. So let's finish that stuff up real quick. Okay guys, well, got this thing all back together. We got the valve cover on and everything. I guess I got the engine back together. The whole quad's not back together, but I'm gonna leave it like this for now because I've got more work to do. And so overall, I think we pretty much got everything. So went through, took the good portion of the top end apart, took the head end to Rissler's. He got the valve seats cut for me. Got the new intake valves in, so had a couple issues. Dropped a valve shim down in the bottom end. That was rough. So we have a new gasket down here, and then of course I broke that bolt up on the camshaft. So we got we got some semi-new bolts, new to me. Luckily Roy had some extras lying around, so we got that. And yeah, now it's all back together. So overall should be good to go now for intake valves for a while, hopefully at least until this winter. Hopefully plan on going through the whole motor and doing a whole motor refresh, but for now that should do it. And then I mentioned at the very beginning of this video that I had another cool project that I'm working on, and so that's why I'm not fully put it back together yet. I've got the carburetor sitting over here. I do need to do a little bit of jetting on it. I think I just need to drop the main back down now that my intake valves are good. Last time I rode it, it was definitely running a little rich, And so I think I had to put like a 175 main in it because of that intake valve hanging open. But now that that intake valve isn't hanging open, hopefully I'll drop it back down to like a 165 or something. But anyway, for that special project, I'll give you a quick peek real quick for the next video. So that's all you get. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Come back for the second portion of this video, I guess you could say, to see the addition to the quad. So it should be a pretty good one. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.